There is also Quixel Maegascans, and I think I mentioned this in class, right? You're going to want Quixel Bridge. It's asking for an update. I'm just going to do that later. And when you sign in, right? So you're going to download Quixel Bridge if you haven't already done so. From Quixel.com. So Bridge and Unreal. This is for UE45. So let's go to products. I want Quixel Bridge, and then just download Bridge and then install it. And once you install it, you can launch it and then sign in using your Epic Games account. Let's go to export settings. Right, so now it's showing me that the way I had initially set this up is to export to 4.26. So I'm gonna change this. No, so I can't change this. Maybe that's fine. Update. Update plugin. Okay, so I updated the plugin, and now it allows me to select 4.27. I need to set the plugin path, and that goes into the C drive. I always forget if it's on the bottom of the top. Program files, Epic Games, 4.27, engine, plugins. Right. So this is where the plugins go. Right. Program files, Epic Games, 4.27, engine, plugins. And let's select the folder. Set your plugin location, default project. Just going to leave that blank and just hit install plugin. So now, okay, not sure how I'm going to edit all of this. But I now have my Megascans button. I had to finagle things because it was not reading or understanding that it was coming, where I was trying to apply the plugin to a different version of Unreal than I had initially. I started out with 4.26 and was trying to switch to 4.27. I'm guessing none of you are going to have this issue. And so if you just go through the steps after you install Bridge to install the Megascans plugin, this shouldn't be an issue. You should end up with this little green Megascans button. If you run into trouble, let me know, and we'll figure out how to troubleshoot that process. Right. Once you get past this headache, if you even have a headache getting through this, the advantage is you'll then be able to access this library of things. So you can find 3D assets. So if I wanted fruits, let's do the cantaloupe. And so it's giving me a little error message, but we don't have to worry about it. And it's going to bring in my asset. So then I could drag my cantaloupe into my scene. If I hit F to focus, there it is. Right. It's pretty low poly. You can see it's like jagged. When I get closer, it gets smoother. And that's just because there's something called level of details, which means the closer you get to an asset, the more detailed it becomes. And it's just the advantage of Megascans assets is they come with LODs built in. Beyond the scope of this class, but just in case you're wondering why the cantaloupe looks jagged from this distance, if you get closer, it smooths out because it's just refining the mesh as you get closer. Okay. So that's Megascans. Through Bridge, you can get three-dimensional assets. If you go on ArcViz, you can start to find surfaces and get some materials. So if I want this brick, I can click on this download button. And so now that I've downloaded this brick facade, I can click on this arrow to migrate it into my Unreal Engine. You can see it's importing it now. And we'll see under the surfaces category, we now have my brick facade. So I can apply that surface, and you can get some pretty good materials and some very detailed models into your scene using Bridge, assuming you find things that are useful. Like, let's bring in this box. Or like some of these bollards. And then don't forget to build lighting periodically. What you're going to notice is it's going to change your scene. It's going to change the lighting once the lighting is baked in. Things might start to look a little bit darker or lighter or a little less detailed. And so build your lighting just to see what that's going to look like. Because ultimately you're going to want to build the lighting before you run any scene in VR, because if you try to do things that are fully dynamically lit, it might be too taxing on the graphics card. And so just keep that in mind. And so let's let the light build process occur, and then we'll check out the results. So now we have our lighting built. And the scene is looking pretty good. So our player is being possessed here. So now if I hit play, here we are. I can go straight through that and straight through that. So I'm gonna maybe work on some of these collisions. And we'll talk about that in a later video. My player is casting shadows nicely onto these surfaces. And so I can start to really develop the scene in this way, test it out using the third-person character. And then when I'm ready to, I can disable this and go to VR preview when I have my headset set up. Right. So do not wait on testing your scene out in VR. Right. Do plenty of third-person tests or first-person tests. Do as many of those as you want to. But please, 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 once you get to a certain point, make sure you put the headset on and check out the scene and see what the performance is like. Right. Because if you end up with a lot of high polygon assets, it might slow things down. It might cause some delays or little flickerings and things like that on the VR headset, which can lead to some discomfort, some motion sickness and things like that. So we want to make sure our frame rates are pretty good. And if you want to check what those frame rates are, you can just hit show FPS. But again, if you're going to use photogrammetry scans, you're going to want to test it. If you're going to have a high poly model that you downloaded from Sketchfab, you're going to want to test it and make sure that the performance is going to be such that it's not going to cause distraction or cause motion sickness. Okay.